monetary policy, efficient management of expenditure, revenue and debt, transparency in fiscal operation of the government and achieving a balanced budget। तो ये सब करता है आपका FRBM एक्ट 2013। लेकिन ये कुछ भी नहीं हो पा रहा कोरोना वायरस की पैंडेमिक में। मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली आगे आने वाले समय में सरकार इस एक्ट के प्रोविजंस को निगलेक्ट करके, अमेंड करके ज्यादा पैसा उठा के मार्केट से खर्चा करने वाली है। ये खैर एक छोटा सा एंड पॉइंट था, ये WMO से सीधे सीधे रिलेटेड है। WMA वेज एंड मीन्स एडवांस। आई होप आपको पूरी तरीके से समझ में आ गए। अगर समझ में आ गए तो मुझे नीचे कमेंट बॉक्स में बताइए। मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव वही से समझाने का। हैव अ ग्रेट डे, गुड बाय। वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर करना मत भूलिए।
जरा अपने 10-11 महीनों को याद करिए। जब 2024 शुरू हुआ था तब आपने क्या नया किया, कुछ नया सीखा?
Hey guys, how are you? So I am here to tell you about CRR and SLR and how RBI uses CRR and SLR to control inflation in the Indian economy. So CRR stands for cash reserve ratio. What is cash reserve ratio? Cash reserve ratio is that amount, friends, which the commercial banks, the scheduled commercial banks have to keep with the RBI, and this is the percentage as a percentage of net time and demand liabilities. Now friends, I would like to tell you what is net time and demand, NDTL. You can say net demand and time liabilities, or net time and demand liabilities, you can say anything. So what is NDTL? Net demand and time liabilities. Two things are here in it: demand liabilities, time liabilities. What is demand liability? Suppose you open a savings account, okay? So you get around 3.5% interest, 4% interest. Suppose you open a current account. In current account, you get 0% interest, because for current account, even in some cases, people who open current account in banks, they have to pay to maintain the current account. So these current account and saving accounts, these are actually demand deposits. Why demand deposits? Because you can withdraw money from them according to your priorities, at the money in those accounts is at your disposal. Whereas when we talk about time deposits is fixed for a particular time limit. You cannot withdraw a time deposit before the specified amount of time for which you have deposited the money. So obviously, suppose in a bank on a particular day, in a bank on a particular day, you are submitting some amount of money. Say a total amount of money submitted in a particular bank, say SBI, on a particular day is say 130 crores, and obviously some amount of money is taken out from that bank on that particular day. Suppose 30 crores is taken out. So obviously on that particular day, 130 crore rupees was submitted and 30 crores was taken out. So 130 crore came in the bank and 30 crore was taken out. So what was the net inflow of money in that bank on that particular day? It was 130 minus 30, because 130 came in and 30 came out. So 100 crore. So on that particular day, NDTL, that is net demand and time liability, is 100 crore rupees. As simple as that. So this is net time and net demand and time liability. Now, when we talk about Indian economy, and for determining the value of CRR and SLR, and for implementing it, net demand and time liability is calculated for a period of a fortnight. That is 2 weeks, that is 14 weeks. So every Friday NDTL is fixed, and that NDTL remains valid for 2 weeks, and after again 14 days, when next Friday comes, NDTL is again calculated. So obviously, if any bank is not adhering to the limits of cash reserve ratio or statutory liquidity ratio, then as a percentage of NDTL, then he has to pay a penalty on it. Okay friends, so this was NDTL, and what we talked about CRR, cash reserve ratio, is that amount of money which banks keep with the RBI. Okay, and it is expressed as a percentage of NDTL, and statutory liquidity ratio is that amount of money which the banks keep itself in the form of first cash, second gold, and third government approved securities. Now friends, what's the difference between CRR and SLR? In CRR, all the money has to be kept in the form of cash with the RBI. So obviously, the whole money is deposited with the RBI. The money is not in circulation. The money is not an investment. So no amount of interest is being received on the CRR deposit. But when we talk about SLR, in SLR, if whatever percentage we are keeping as cash, we are not going to get any return on it. Suppose a fraction of the SLR we are keeping in gold. So obviously, if the prices of gold increase, we are going to get profit. And if the prices of gold decrease, we are going to get a loss in the SLR. And if the banks invest their monies in government, invest their SLR money in government approved securities, and obviously they are going to get a return of around 8 or 9%, because government pays an interest of 8 to 9% on the securities that is issued. So this is the difference between CRR and SLR, friends. But you need to understand one thing, that how CRR and SLR is going to control the inflation in the economy. Using CRR and SLR, RBI can use to control inflation in the economy. How? Suppose, for example, CRR is 4% and SLR is 20%. It is changed in every bi-monthly, monetary policy review by the Monetary Policy Committee. So if after every 2 months this thing is changing, suppose at present the CRR is 4%, SLR is 20%, and I make the CRR as 10% and SLR as 30%. So previously when it was CRR was 4% and SLR was 20%, that 24% of the money was not circulated by the banks forward. Only 76% of the money was circulated by the banks. But when the CRR is increased to 10% and the SLR is increased to 20%, so obviously 30% of the money becomes dormant. Okay, and how much money we can invest now? The money that can be invested now is around 70%. Okay, so CRR was increased to 10% and SLR was SLR previously was 20%, and now we increase SLR from 20 to 30. So now SLR is 30, CRR is 10, so 30 plus 10, 40%, the banks cannot lend forward. So banks are left with only 60% of the money. So if the banks are left with less amount of money to move forward in the economy, so obviously they have to maintain their profit margin. So they are going to lend that remaining 60% at a higher rate of interest. Previously when they were lending 76% of the money, they had a lot of money. So
won't believe me, but ऐसे कुछ लोग हैं जो वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, फुल टाइम जॉब है, बट दे आर मेकिंग मोर देन द सैलरी फ्रॉम द स्टॉक मार्केट. और ऐसा नहीं है कि उन लोग फुल दिन
6% of the money, they had a lot of money, so they decided the rates accordingly. But now when they are left with only 60% of the money to lend, obviously the lending rates are going to increase. And if the lending rates are going to increase, then obviously, friends, people will not be very much interested in taking loans. For example, when 24% of the money, that is 4% CRR and 20% SLR, was with the banks, 76% was given. So suppose at that point of time the car loan, the interest rate levied on the car loan was 13%. Let's say I'm assuming. Now 40% is dormant, 60% has to be lent. So the RBI, the banks are obviously going to increase their lending rate. So suppose they increase their lending rate from 13% to 22%. That is car loan, 13% to 22%. So obviously now the interest that needs to be paid by the consumer becomes more. So consumers will be less willing to buy a car. So this is how, by increasing the CRR and SLR, obviously, the booming inflation can be controlled, because obviously the interest rate will be more, then obviously borrowing by the people from the banks will be less, and if the borrowing will be less, spending will be less, then obviously the inflation will fall. Similar case comes in the case of deflation. In the deflation condition, the prices are going back. So if the prices are going back, the prices are going downward, they are dipping downwards, what we need to do? In that case, we need to reduce the CRR and SLR. So suppose CRR is reduced from 4% to 2% and SLR is reduced from 20% to 15%. Now previously 24% was dormant and 76% was available for lending. Now only 2% CRR is there and 15% SLR is there. So 2 plus 15